Hello, founders. Welcome to another pitch deck critique and review. And this time we have Pull Trader. And I'm going to do something different here. I have not looked at this deck at all. I am going into this completely blind. I like to preview the decks a little bit, but I'm not doing it in this case because I actually love this space. I have worked in the collectible space, advised founders in it. I work in it now with few ventures, and I love collectible card games. I just love the whole market dynamic of that. So when I look at this and say transaction and commerce infrastructure for collectibles, you had me at collectibles. So I'm excited to dive into this. You got dealer management, payment processing, provenance analytics, just really straightforward. We're going to see how to help this startup raise the capital. I don't even know what round they're raising in, but it's a little bit different than all the other AI decks and all the typical SaaS stuff that we see. That's why I'm excited. Thank you to this founder for sending it in. This is Ryan. Thanks, Ryan, for sending this in. I appreciate you. Let's look how we can help you out. But before we do that, my name is Ed Kang. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer here at Startups.com. I'm a 7-time funded founder with 2 exits, and this is the new home for all my pitch deck critiques and reviews. If you've seen me do it before on my personal channel. Why? Because I've teamed up, as I've been the advisor with Startups.com, as the creator in residence to pool our resources together and help as many founders as possible, help more founders, and we're excited to bring you all this type of content. If you're a founder out there and you want your own pitch deck critiqued and reviewed, just stay till the end of the video. There's a process that we are going to be using, and I would appreciate that. While you're here, I would also appreciate you like, comment, and subscribe. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you're thinking. All the feedback really helps. Without further ado, let's jump into this pitch deck. So right away, we have a problem statement, and it says 80 million Americans own trading cards. Great. Fueling a $10 billion U.S. collectibles market. Yet collectors and dealers must rely on general purpose solutions or high-fee marketplaces, paying billions on unnecessary fees and lacking robust inventory pricing provenance tools. This fragmented ecosystem stifles efficiency, transparency, and growth. There's a lot to like here, and you've got all the raw materials. And I'm going to tell you right now, we are pointing in the right direction, but here's what you want to do. Take this statement, and I want you to run it through ChatGPT and get it down to one statement, one sentence. Tell me that there are 80 million collectors in the US in the $10 billion market that waste X amount of dollars because there's no tracking, provenance, and easy way to do marketplaces and exchanges. That's it. You see, I just made it up right on the spot. Now, I happen to know the industry a lot, but you've added so many terms that the investor's not going to understand, like provenance. I understand what provenance is because I've worked in the industry, but a regular investor doesn't understand provenance. So if you're trying to solve the problem of provenance, you can say there's so many scams out there. Then that's one problem to solve. But just be very straightforward in what you're solving and make it simple for the investor to understand. Tell me how many collectors there are in the size of the industry and how much money they waste because of why. What's the issue? Because of expensive marketplaces, too much friction, and narrow it down to one core problem, because no investor is going to believe that you can solve for all those problems at once, unless you're already in like a B round, C round, and you're just waiting to go public. But at this stage, I'm going to believe that you're in an early stage, so you want to focus down onto the one problem. And that's what I noticed right away on your cover slide. Let's take a look at it again. On your cover slide, you say dealer management, payment processing, provenance, analytics. That's a lot to bite off, Ryan. It's a lot of problems that you're solving for. You're introducing so many concepts. The credibility decreases the wider that you go, that investor thinks you can pull it off. So the solution, Pull Trader SaaS platform powers collectors and dealers with storefronts, payment processing, provenance, tracking, and analysis in a single platform. Okay. We unify in-person and online sales, reduce fees, and eliminate operational fragmentation, fueling growth for dealers and collectors alike. Why can't you just say Pull Trader connects collectors and dealers with a single platform that reduces fees and eliminates operational overhead? Something like that. Now, what you're missing is that special sauce. You're saying it's all in one, but I know for a fact solutions exist out there. So is it online? Is it a marketplace? Is it all centralized in one spot? Or is it like Shopify, where you're saying, hey, we give every collector their own Shopify store that is specifically designed for this collectibles industry, this trading card, where everybody can communicate with each other? That's what we're missing here. But again, kudos to you for creating one big sentence. It happens to be a paragraph, but you can run that through ChatGPT. And here's the hack. Here's the prompt. You ask ChatGPT to make sure it relates to the problem statement so that you are not saying a solution that doesn't relate to the problem. Whatever's in the problem is in the solution. So if something has a lot of friction and high fees, then you say the solution, it reduces the friction by X% and has 90% less fees. You see what I did there? You're on the right track, and I understand the industry. I've got a little bit of inside information knowledge, so that's kind of biasing my view of this pitch deck, but there's a lot to like. Keep going, refine it down, because the more refined it is, the more confident you're going to come across. And the more that you say, the greater the chance of you saying something or putting something in your pitch deck that investors are not going to like, understand, or get frustrated with because there's friction and they're going to give up on it. You're going to lose them. So here's the market. I like the fact that you got the market slide right after the solution slide. Trading card and collectible market exceeds 10 billion in secondary sales. So now we've introduced a new concept. What is secondary sales, right? So maybe your solution is we specialize in secondary sales. That's really what happens, or sales after the initial purchase from big stores. With 51 million transactions shared amongst the 80 million trading card owners in the USA. Okay, there's a lot. You've already said there are 80 million trading cards, so you can just basically say that there's 51 million transactions that occur on the secondary market, because now you're giving me the information that I need to figure out the size. Now you got 10.3 billion, so 10 billion times 0.7 our average rate. All right, so 10 billion secondary sales. So you're charging 7% of that plus 80 million. This doesn't make any sense, because now we're ending up with 9.6 billion and we say $10.3 billion TAM. Your math is either off or you're conflating all this stuff put together. I like what you're trying to do. TAM, SAM, SOM, 60% of TAM is realistic. All right, so here becomes the issue. So you're pointing in the right direction, and I see what you're trying to do, but there are some corrections that you need to figure out here. So let's use 51 million transactions, or you can say 10 billion, okay, in transactions total that get run through your system because you're doing secondary sales. All right, so if you're charging X%, so 7%, what's 7% of 10 billion? That's your total. If every transaction that happened in this market around the world that could use your software, and you charge them money, well, this is how much money you made. Full stop. That's great. Then your SAM is serviceable addressable market, is what you want to focus on based on a competitive advantage, a business model, or some hack or something that you say, okay, we want to focus here and grow into the TAM. Maybe it's just baseball cards, or maybe it's just certain vintage. I don't know what that is, but you can start to explain that. And that gives you a strategic justification for your SAM, not thinking that we can reach 60% of the market. I don't believe you can reach 60% of any market, especially if it's $10 billion. You better have an amazing go-to-market strategy for me to believe that. You are trying to predict the future and saying, feasibly, we could reach 60% of the market. Well, what if you don't? That doesn't bode well for you. That doesn't give me confidence as an investor. What gives me confidence is when you say, we have an unfair advantage in focusing on this segment of the market, and that's where we're going to start, and that's going to give us our beachhead and help us expand into the greater market, which is your TAM, and then your SOM, serviceable, obtainable market, is pretty much what you realistically can accomplish in 5 years for annual revenue. Everything goes properly. So all the framework and your approach is there, but the inputs and the data, we're not getting what we need to see. Simplify it down and go back to the drawing board, but you've got a good start. Pull Trader unifies listing, grading, fulfillment, analytics in a single cost-efficient platform, streamlining commerce for dealers while enhancing discovery, trust, convenience for collectors. List and discover, grading, authentication, buy, trade, sell everywhere, automatic fulfillment. Okay, there's a lot to like, but again, it's too complicated. I got way too much information. You already have a good headline that you have up here that you put everything together, right? And then you just have to get rid of all this stuff and just have list and discover and just say customer goes and lists, or on the secondary market. Then you got grading, buy, sell, trade, automatic fulfillment, real-time payouts. I'm going to pause it once again. You've got so much going on there. I'm telling you right now, unless you can explain to me how you're able to fill automatic fulfillment, like this is a serious issue. I know this industry. Remember, you've got someone puts card out on the secondary market. I'm holding on to it. How does that other person get it? Money goes in escrow. How do I know that it gets shipped or gets authenticated? All those things. Or are you saying everybody sends their stuff into these dealers, these people who have the storefronts? I'm confused. I don't understand. And that's why you have to break things down into a how it works slide like you've done here, but you have to explain it in a way that an investor understands. Even something like grading authentication. How does that get done? And how is that explained to the investor in plain English who doesn't understand the industry? Because let's step back for a moment. You're either going to be presenting this pitch deck to investors that have industry understanding, have technical expertise, and they understand the inside language, and they have the money to invest in this, which is going to be very small, very, very rare. Or you can be talking to investors that understand that the collectible space is a great opportunity, have been looking at that, but don't understand specifically what you do, but they got a big pile of money. And if you can explain to them in plain English, they'd be more willing to part with that money. But you have to make it feasible, credible, believable that you can pull all this stuff off. And because you haven't communicated away in a succinct fashion, then I'm believing you less and less, and that's where my confidence starts to wane as an investor that you can pull this off. Not to say you don't have the goods. You might have the goods, and I hope I'm wrong with this, but I'm just saying right now it's communicated in a way that it's not coming across, and that's working against you. Business model, we monetize collective market through consignment fees, subscriptions, affiliate commissions, and transaction fees. That's a lot going on there, but you just want to say, okay, great. This is what's right here, 9.5 selling fees, okay, pro, you got all these things. See, it's too confusing right now. Just say, here are the subscription fees, $10 to $50 a month. Consolidate all this together. Transaction fees, right? 5.5 to 9.5 or 15%. So simplify all that down, but great headline right there. This is a pretty good slide. I'm going to give this slide like a B minus. And you can definitely improve it by simplifying it down. But the information's there, and I appreciate what you've done so far. Go-to-market strategy. We've earned our first customers leveraging local hobby events, leading with in-person card consignment submissions, using frictionless sign-up, ensuring our first interaction delivers immediate value, builds trust, converts consigners into advocates. You got way too much going on here, but I can see the strategy start to form. Just make it simple. Simplify it down. We start with in-person card consignment, right? And then allow them to sign up, and then we go on, and that's how we're going to do. We got local hobby events. So start off, local hobby events, in-person card consignment, frictionless sign up, and then we're going to convert. That's as simple as you can make it, and that would have been fine. All this stuff here, I have no idea what this means. It's too confusing. The gold is up here. Simplify it down and make sure it makes sense. And I don't need to know exactly how you are going to be doing it in terms of build trust, value, all that stuff. I'm going to take that for granted. Just give me the strategy and explain how it's going to work and give me the confidence. The fact you've already got first customers gives me confidence. Customers choose Pull Trader for a single platform that centralizes inventory pricing and transactions. Okay, so you're saying your competitive advantage is a simple, unified platform. Okay, great. And you know what? Pretty straightforward in terms of all the things that are here together. I'm afraid when you say AI agents, yeah, that's very feasible right now. You know what? I take it all back. I like this slide. Team has 20 years product design, 10 years in startups, led revenue product at hard tech startup to 8 million in sales, built and exited multiple businesses. There's a lot to like here. Very powerful. You can cut that down a bit here. Like, you've already told me that you've exited. You don't even have to put this in there, right? Just tell me 10 years in startups, led revenue, hard tech startup with an exit. That's all you have to do. Then you've got these logos down here. Yeah, I like it. Social proof. Yeah. All this is really good. There's some stuff that you could probably take out there, but like, for example, 2X's marketplace lifestyle, you don't have to put that in there, right? Just cut all this down to make this simple. 4-time founder with 2X's. You can just combine that into one thing. Led revenue product at Shine. Yeah, all this stuff is really, really good. I appreciate it. YC14, get the YC logo in here, man. Okay, this is great. I like it. And Ryan Gonzalez is the originator of magician storytelling. And it's okay. So I don't know what this means. If this is really important, put this in the bullets here. But again, you're adding too much. I like the action shot. You don't really need it. Like this, I'm going to question because this is so strong, Ryan. This is so strong. I am already bullish. This is a pleasant surprise. Good job. Now, before we get into the traction slide, I'm just going to let you know, this is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting you to tell me the state of the product, expecting you to tell me customers or whatever type of validation you have, and then some type of growth metric to show me traction is occurring. That's what I'm looking for, and this is the test. We're doing things a little different. Like I said, I want to see those in the traction slide. Let's take a look at what traction slide that we've got. Our consignment and marketplace MVP launched in January 2025. Great. Since May 2024, we've sold 2,300 items. Now I'm confused. If you launched in 2025, May 2024, I don't understand. We sold 2,300 items to 1,650 customers, average 1,727 in monthly revenue via eBay. All right, you're really mixing a lot of things, and you could probably tell the story a little bit better and simplify it and say, on our way to learning to our MVP, we've sold this many items and we made this amount of money, and our MVP launched in 2025. And then you're saying consignment revenue growth. Is that with your MVP? I don't understand. So you want to break this down. All the traction's there. I like it. We've averaged 13 to 17% monthly growth with just one consignor, less than $500 marketing spend. All really great things. I'm super confused about this slide. I would run it through ChatGPT and figure out, I don't even know where to start because I like all the numbers, but there's got to be a better way for you to prove this or communicate in a way that helps with the credibility to prove out that you've got that traction. The ask, we're raising $500,000 scale beyond our 9-month pilot results, and over the next 12 to 8 months, reach 5,000 total users and 100 dealers, $20,000 to $25,000 in monthly recurring revenue. Yeah, great. I like it. Still too much. And this is a habit that I'm seeing with you, Ryan, is that you do a really great job in putting the sentence together and getting all the elements in there, and you've got the goods, but you just add like those 2 to 3 extra bullet points that you don't need to have that you can consolidate it down. But I'd rather have you do that than the opposite route and not have things to talk about. It's kind of like the whole statement that I say, I'd rather tame a stallion than prod a turtle. Well, you know, it may sound really weird, but this is like a stallion founder. You've got so much energy, you've got so much information that you're putting out there, and we just have to reel it on in. We just have to harness it and get it all going in one direction and make it concise so you're not just kind of oozing and gushing and making yourself lose the opportunity to build that confidence because you're concise. But there's lots of great things. You just need to communicate this more. This startup is a lot more mature and further along than I even expected. Kudos to you, and I'm glad you brought this to us. It's one of the better pitch decks. You've got a great start. Just take it to the next level. I would say your deck in general is like a B. You can get this to an A- using the different things that we do, just getting in there and starting to refine the deck, and then A- and then get it to an A or an A+ based on feedback from investors, because I can only take you so far because I'm not in your investor's head. I'm not going to be investing in this space, but I know enough to say you are on the right track. So once again, thank you. Kudos to you. Nice work. Looking forward to hearing from you, about you. However, keep me posted, Ryan. If you're a founder out there and you want your own pitch deck critiqued and reviewed, make sure you leave a comment. That's how we're going to do it. And tell me what startup you're working on. And then we'll do a little bit of interaction. And then I'll explain to you how to get me your pitch deck. And then there'll be a few hoops to jump through. We do this because we want these pitch decks, critiques and reviews to be beneficial for everybody else. And what happens is if people don't go through a bit of screening process, we end up doing the same type of pitch deck reviews and we say the same thing, and it's not learning for everybody. We want to make sure the content is helpful all around, because not only do we want to help you out, but help out all the founder community. And that's what we appreciate about you allowing us to do it with your pitch deck. So make sure you leave that comment and we'll have that conversation. That's it for this one. Thanks for hanging out and checking out this pitch deck critique and review. I appreciate it. I'd love to know what you think. Encouragement from founder would be incredibly appreciated. I'll see you in the next video.